It is true, science has shown that the Suzuki M109 is the most perfect motorcycle in existence, but it is not without its flaws. Cue the intro. What's up guys, I'm Sean from Srkcycles. Now in your mind, when you think of the perfect motorcycle, what are you thinking about? Are you thinking about loud stereos, comm systems so people can get a hold of you? Are you thinking of storage for all your wife's stuff that you have no idea why she's bringing with you on a motorcycle trip? The answer is no, no, and no. You're not thinking about any of those things. What you're thinking about is this. Looking at the analytics, the other way is and a whole lot of this. So what you guys are looking for, what you guys are thinking about when you think about the perfect motorcycle is the sound, the looks, the feel, and the acceleration, and where it takes you. This is a Suzuki M109R b.o.s.s edition, and it is one of the prettiest motorcycles I've ever seen. It really is the most perfect motorcycle. Look at how beautiful this motorcycle is. How the radiator shroud comes into the frame cover and how that flows into the tank, and the bike just flows. So to give you a little brief history of the Suzuki M109R, it is part of the Boulevard line, and the M109R came out in 2006. And since then, it's been a staple in the muscle bike category. With its race-inspired 1800cc liquid-cooled motor, with this asphalt-destroying 240 rear back tire. Now, even though the M109 has a big, giant, like 240 back tire, it still handles better than every single chopper out there, and it's actually pretty decent. And I mean, it's what you would expect. It's a manufactured bike. It can't handle horribly. So the way they have it set up, though, it is a big back tire with the rake and the wheelbase and everything. It's actually pretty decent. I've ridden bikes that you have to fight. You gotta fight tooth and nail just to get it to move. And this thing actually feels pretty good. It's nice to have that big back tire when you have that much power behind it for, you know, launching, and you have a much larger, you know, I would imagine that triples, maybe even quadruples the contact patch of actually what's hitting the ground. And even though this bike pulls very hard, I've really never had it, I don't recall ever the tires really cutting loose. You know, if you try you know, a VTX 1800, which is a much narrower tire, much smaller contact patch, that thing will cut loose pretty easily in first and second gear, and it's a blast. This thing just stays real planted. In many ways, the M109 is the muscle bike to beat. But why does that make it the perfect motorcycle? Let me explain. So a car is made to take you from A to B, but they're so teched out where you got people can contact you, text messages can come up on your screen, Bluetooth, radio. You are incredibly connected when you're in your car. So much to the point that you might as well just be in your office. But this giant, powerful machine is the escape from all of that stuff. There's no Bluetooth, there's no comm system, no text messages are coming through. If your phone rings, you can't hear it anyway. All you hear is the giant roar of this 1800cc or 109 cubic inch engine, which chances are that engine might be bigger than the engine in your car. This 5-speed shaft-driven monster is the best way to escape from all the noises and stuff of life that you're trying to escape from. And not just escape from all those things, but forget about all those things. Forget about the worries of life and remind yourselves of the worries you get in when you're riding something like this. Cops, speeding, all that fun stuff. But all that stuff alone is not enough to make it the perfect bike. It also has to have style, but not just style, it's gotta have presence. And the M109 has it. Now I gotta say that the M109 is one of those unique bikes that if you haven't ridden one, go out there, take one for a spin. They are a blast to drive. I've fallen in love with just the Boulevard lineup. I like the way they feel. What's nice is there's a consistency of feeling, just the way it feels and how the engine connects to the how it connects to the wheels and how even the grips. You know what I mean? It's something that you get that with Harley Davidson too. You get that consistency throughout all the bikes. You know, you ride a Street Glide or a Road King, and then you ride a Lowrider. You know what I mean? You know it's all from the same manufacturer. And And hopefully it's a good thing. Hopefully you're comparing it, you know, hopefully it's all good things that you like about it. When it comes to the Boulevard, it's all things I like. There's a smoothness. There's a smoothness and also a, you know, I guess it's just a smoothness to a V-twin where you would expect that a V-twin has some vibration, and of course it does, but it does it in a very smooth way where it's not like, you know, giving yourself a headache or vibrating your arms, you know, your hands numb. It just, you know, you're riding a V-twin. When you roll up to someplace driving a bike this big, and in most cases, motorcycles this big have multiple purposes. They got a full fairing, they got big bags, they got the big tour pack. This is one of the largest motorcycles you can get that has one purpose, and that's just being a motorcycle and driving around and making noise and just having fun. And now, as much as I love small, little goofy looking bikes like the Monkey and the Dream and stuff like that, and they're a blast to drive, there really is no replacement for just having a humongous motor and a humongous bike that when you roll up to the place, people, not only do they hear you, people feel you coming. All right, let's do this. There. Now, I could have done that a little bit faster, but now, when I imagine the perfect motorcycle in my mind, it's big, it's powerful, it's loud, and it's something that takes talent and skill and patience to tame it. Let's go tame the beast. All right, guys, let's do the words of wisdom. Romans 12:1. Therefore, I urge you, brethren, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies a living sacrifice, a living and holy sacrifice, acceptable to God, which is your spiritual service of worship. Now, the M109 would not be my personal bike of choice for a long distance. Now, in many cases, it's going to be my bike of choice for short stuff, and that's just that's mainly because of one reason, and that's right here. It gets up to 45 miles an hour very, very quickly. Hold on. What's that speed limit say? 35. It gets up to 35 miles an hour very, very quickly. And that's why I like it. It's got that kick, that big, I think it's actually like 1787 or 1770. It's not quite 1800 cc's, but it's close enough that you can call it 1800 cc's. And it's just a great ride with it packs a big punch. Now the M109R and the C90s and the M90 and stuff like that, they all have a 5-speed transmission. You don't need a 6-speed transmission. You know, we have this concept. I guess in motorcycles, with cars, it's a little bit differently. It's different because the more gears you have, you know, the more you can get into that perfect RPM range to get better fuel economy, and a lot of that is just an issue with how they regulate emissions and being able to have an engine that powerful in a car that only, you know, that's a car issue. When it comes to motorcycles, I don't care how many gears it has, as long as I'm able to go as fast as I want to go when I'm on the highway. And I've got good power in all the gears. The M109 it's a very powerful bike, and it's set up gear-wise that you're gonna have, I'll show you, but it's got plenty of power in all the gears. And when you're cruising, the RPMs are not too high. When you're cruising, the RPMs are gonna be in that perfect gear range that you, it's not too loud, it's not too quiet, it's charging up the battery, and if you want to accelerate and get yourself out of a situation, it's available for you. So like I was saying, top gear, we're running out of gas, but top gear going the speed limit, and we're not even at 3,000 RPMs. The thing redlines to 7,500 RPMs. This is perfect. If there was a 6th gear, it'd probably be geared to be this same like ratio, so you're at these RPMs at normal highway speeds. But then you'd be shifting more. And now, even though this bike does not have a big old fancy windshield that a lot of people like, it does have this little thing, and it keeps some of the wind off your, you know, I don't know what that does. It's not doing anything. It looks awesome though, and that's what the point of this thing is. when I'm riding a motorcycle, and especially one like this, I want the wind at my chest, I want the wind at my face. And my problem with fixed windshield is often that it's not fixed the exact way I want it to be, and it sends all the wind at hitting the top of my helmet. Now, if you don't wear a helmet, it'll probably go over your head. But because I wear a helmet, I'm a couple inches, I sit a couple inches taller, so it all hits the top of my helmet, just kind of shaking my head around. Yeah, it's very annoying. They call it buffeting. It's like turbulence for your head. Even at top gear, at this RPM range, if you want to pass somebody, lightly roll onto the throttle, you got all the power you need right there. So this bike could be good for a lot of different types of purposes. Different people are comfortable on different bikes. The guy who buys this might be like, hey, I want that bike for big long trips. Awesome. Some guys are gonna buy this bike for, you know, and that guy might put bags on it and stuff. Some guys might buy this bike just for, you know, what I would think the bike would be for. It's just kind of hot rodding. Just kind of driving around, making a lot of noise. You have no destination to go, you have no place you need to be, and just getting nowhere in the most fun way possible. Guys, don't forget, if you are looking at considering buying something like this and you might want to rent one before you buy it, check out the company Riders Share. Riders Share. You can rent your bike out to make a couple extra bucks to pay your payment or pay for gas, whatever, or you can rent a bike like this to ride it and see what you think about it. So check out Srkcycles.com. We have tons of bikes just like this one for sale. If you are that person with a little something twisted up in your mind, this might be the bike for you. Maybe for everyone this bike is not the bike for you, maybe the C90 is the bike for you. Check out that video next. Either way, remember, it is not what you're riding, but where you're going. We'll see you guys later.